This is Module 1. We'll talk about your game plan, how you're going to prepare for success in your case study program. The first thing to understand is the power of storytelling. Storytelling is central to the human experience. Humans have used stories to share information for all of recorded history. And long before writing was invented or commonly used, every civilization had oral history traditions. Our earliest written narratives tell the stories of great heroes: Gilgamesh, Achilles, Hector, Akhenaten, Darius, Pericles. They live on in the stories that were told about them. And those great stories inspire us and teach us in ways that just simple exposition can't. One of the things that humans have intuitively known for millennia is that you can share experience through stories. Humans are hardwired to learn through story. When we share stories, at a basic level, we're actually sharing the experiences associated with the recounted events. So what's really interesting is that scientists have actually measured this human ability to share experience. A team from Princeton measured the brain activity of a woman telling stories in English and Russian to a group of listeners. By measuring the brain activity of the storyteller and comparing her brain activity with the brain activity of the listeners, what scientists found is that the same centers of the brain were active at the same times during the story when the listeners were understanding the story. When she read in English and the listeners understood, their brains actually mirrored the activity in her brain. But when she read in Russian, the listeners' brains did not measure the same mirroring effect. So what this tells us is that at a very fundamental way, stories affect us. So in this course, we're going to talk about how you can leverage the power of storytelling to show your prospects the true value of your company, your products, and your services. We'll leverage the power of storytelling to teach lessons that you simply can't share just by yammering on about your features and benefits. It's really powerful. So what do you need to plan before you get started on a new case study? Here are 5 things to get you started. First, what customer are you going to choose? Not all customers are the same. We'll talk about whom you should choose and why. What sales messages and benefits are you going to highlight in the story? This is very important when you're looking at a portfolio of customer case studies because each one will play a different role in your sales and marketing process. How are you going to use the case study? How can you repurpose the content for related promotions? You're putting a lot of work into a good case study. You want to make sure that you get the maximum leverage from that work as possible. And who's going to be responsible for each task? Someone on your team needs to make sure that every important task gets done. So whom are you going to choose? Every story starts with a hero. The ideal customer to profile identifies with your brand. They love you. They get you. They know your products and services very well, and they've actually had success. That always helps. Bonuses. If they work at a big name marquee company, that goes a long way toward establishing social proof and credibility for your company if you have a case study from a big company or an influential company. If they work in one of your highest priority target industries or functional roles. So if someone isn't exactly aligned to your target market, but they're having success, any case study is helpful, but the most valuable ones, if you have to choose between 2 customers, choose the one that best fits your customer profile, that gets you, they love you, they know your products, they're having success, and they map to the customer persona that you're targeting most frequently and most successfully. So we say every story starts with a hero, but why is your customer the hero? I see a lot of success stories that are blah, 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 blah. We did this, we did that, we did this. Writing a case study from the perspective of the company is really boring. It's not as persuasive as writing it from the perspective of the customer. Here are 4 reasons why you should make your customer, not your product, not your company, the hero of your case study. First is good karma. You love your customers, right? They're the reason you're in business. And the ones who care about your business enough to participate in a case study are fabulous. They're the best. It's natural to celebrate your customers' successes and share their achievements with the world. Spread the love. And you want to reward their wise choice of vendors. The second reason is better reader engagement. Everyone can identify with a fellow professional who has faced a challenge in their job. An epic case study takes your readers along as your hero grapples with a challenge, finds a solution, and then has the happy ending. When your customer's the hero, your products and services are the trusty weapons that he takes into battle. Every Jedi has a lightsaber. Every wizard has a spell book. Every successful business leader has trusted vendors. Third reason, easier approvals. When you write the success story as a true success for the company and you highlight how they're better serving their customers by choosing you, you're celebrating their true success. And that makes it easier for you to get approval from the marketing department, the PR department, corporate communications. When you're working with a customer's internal gatekeepers for your message, make sure you give them something great to say yes to. The fourth reason is to help raise your customers' personal profiles, so the actual individual that you're working with at a company. When you feature an individual or team in a case study, they get wider visibility within your industry. We've had instances in the past at companies I've worked with where we actually have helped an individual raise his or her personal profile enough that they got promoted internally, which gave them more power to purchase our products. Plus, we were really happy for them. They've also been headhunted by other firms. So when they got to the other firm, guess which trusted vendor they called? It's very good business to help raise the personal profiles of your evangelists. And one of the biggest reasons to make your customer the hero is that vendor-focused case studies are boring. They're so boring. Yeah. Yammer. My product, my company, my feature, my benefit. Yap. They're so boring. No one cares about that. No one wants to hear you blow your own horn. That brings us to key messages. Ideally, your marketing team will have an overall content strategy that maps out the existing content, planned content, and how you're going to use it at various stages within your marketing and selling cycle. Sometimes these are more developed than others, but you want to make sure that you understand where your case study falls within your strategic marketing message map. What are the most important brand essences and product features that you need to highlight for different kinds of customers? So if you have multiple brand personas that you're targeting, you want to have multiple case studies that map to the roles, the types of challenges they have, and also the brand essence elements that they most respond to. Having a variety of case studies in your portfolio allows you to personalize that content and make it more effective for each user. We'll talk about a lot of ways to repurpose your case study content in the promotion section. And honestly, you won't necessarily know all the ways that you're going to be able to use it when you're planning the project. But it helps if you have a basic understanding of what pieces you want to produce from the content and how you'll be using them. That way you can make sure you capture the story in the right formats and ask the right questions. Some of the formats you may need are audio, video, text, photos, PowerPoint. You'll want to find out if there's any specialized information that you need. Are there product specs? Are there infrastructure specs? Are there statistics you need to be aware of? Market information, market data that you need to know? Is there special jargon that the customer may use that you'll need to understand before the interview? Are there any diagrams or any reports that are available about the implementation with the customer so that you might want to review those before you talk to them? In the show materials, we've put together a preliminary task checklist to help you and your team organize your case study project. Some of the things you'll find on there are identify the customer, create messaging strategy, invite the customer to participate, schedule the interviews, set up the interview logistics, Very important to get that right and clear. Transcribe your notes. Write the first draft, write the second draft. Sometimes there's a third or fourth. Create a design layout, get internal approvals, get your customer approval, and then plan and implement how you're going to promote. Getting customers on board.